Hi, I'm Miles Zuniga from Fastball, and today I'm going to talk about my stuff, my gear. So if you want to start with the pedal board, you got the tuner, probably one of the most important pedals, right there. And it's a handy, anyone who owns a tuner knows it cuts the sound as well. So you have to put up with all the dang, dang, doing thing. You can also make sure you don't have to hit standby on your amp. So these are 3 distortion pedals. The Department of Redundancy department. Because arguably, I could probably get what I need out of one. But I'll start with this one. This is a sex drive that my buddy Alan Durham in Austin makes. And this is like a clean boost. So rather than a volume pedal, I just like to stomp on it once. There it is. So it's mostly clean. Doesn't really do much except you can get some dirt out of it, but mostly it's just clean. Nice. This pedal is the same guy makes this one. This is a Crazy Horse pedal, and it's as the name suggests, designed to emulate the sound of Neil Young. Neil Young famously has an amp, a tiny amp. And a guitar, which I believe is called Old Black. I could be wrong, but the amp, I saw him in concert. He has a thing, his pedal, he pushes a knob and it turns all the volumes up on his little amp. So he's got several amps, but that's the one that gives you that great Neil Young falling apart, distorted sound. In lieu of that, this pedal has a voltage knob, which kind of does the same thing. So all the way up it sounds like a regular distorted pedal, but the more you fade it, the more it starts to crack and fall apart and die and sound bad, but there's bad is the new good. So there, that's level, this is fuzz. I just use this for the really songs like You're an Ocean and things where it's real hot slide type guitar, a lot of whole notes, not so good for chords and stuff, you can't hear a thing. And then you have this classic, the TS9, which people like Stevie Ray Vaughan and people like that have used. And I've owned this thing forever. So really, this is kind of the workhorse. I suppose I could do without these two and just use this. But rather than mess with it, this is kind of like mild blend, medium roast, heavy, dark roast. Then I have a chorus that I use sparingly. You can't really hear it most of the time. It's just there for color. And then this is fun. The memory. I've never really used a delay pedal. Haven't really learned how to use them or what, but I've started to get into them. It's just nice. It also has gain. Really what I'm looking for is gain. Several stages of gain so that I can always be heard. The band is loud and I want to be heard. So this offers yet another variation on gain. So you can set these at all different levels and then you don't need to worry about the sound guy boosting you. You can do it all yourself. I like to be in control of that. And if you want to get freaky, sometimes we go off on a Jazz Odyssey type thing, then I'll crank up the delay, crank up the blend and really get the delay going and just see what happens. But I'm certainly not the edge. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't, on a nightly basis, can't even reproduce the delay I did the night before. It's not scientific at all. I'm very primitive, intuitive guitar player. I don't mess with. That's it, basically. I've got a Vox amp. I don't even have 2 amps. Most bands that tour, the guy's got 2 or 3. I just like one, plug in and play, basically, with 3 distortion pedals. All right, well, this is Vox Ac30. Most of the bands I love, if you look at what they're using, it's a Vox Ac30. The Beatles, U2, I'm trying to think of a few others. But basically the Vox, first of all, looks cool. That's important in rock and roll. It's a cool looking amp. Second of all, it's clean sounding. I owned a Marshall for a while. My frustration with the Marshall was that it was either on 1 or 2, it was like skiffle music. It's like ring-a-dink-a-dink, doesn't do anything. And you put it on 3 and it's like a jet plane taking off. There didn't seem to be any balance. I could never. It's good, I guess, if you want to sound like a freight train coming through, but We don't really play that kind of music. So the Vox, I actually, truth be told, I prefer, come look at, this is also my amp that our extra guitarist on this tour is using. This really is the amp I love. I don't know why I'm letting him use it, actually, now that you got me thinking about it. This is a Fender Bassman. I've owned this amp since, 1988 or something. And I just love it. It's just real simple, clean. There's no, what you call pre-fader or any of that. There's no there's just the volume, that's it. There's 2 channels and there's volume normal, volume bright. So whichever channel you're in, there's 1 volume knob, which is good for me. Again, I don't like, what is the other volume knob even for? I don't know. People that are more into gear know. I don't know. I don't even know. This is how, let me just tell you, this is ironic I'm even doing this interview because I care so little about gear. I could give a fuck. I just want it to turn on and work. That's it. I don't even know how many speakers this thing has, to be honest. No idea. They're like, well, is that 2 12s or is that, I go, look in the back. I've forgotten. I don't even know what it is. What is it? I don't even know. This is 2 12. Whatever. So, this is my favorite amp, and I'm still not sure why I let Jim use it. I thought it was dying. That's why. But it's clean. It's punchy. It's great. And then I color stuff with the pedalboard. The Vox is a variation of the same thing. So what I want ideally is unadulterated sound from the guitar. That's what I want to start with. And then I'll muck it up a little bit. But certainly, I never, my sign of like, do I want to see this band or not? If I see a rack mounted thing, I'm like, I'm probably not going to like them. I'm probably not going to like them. They got like a spaceship in the back, I mean, I know U2 has that, and guess what? I don't really like them that much anymore. But I liked them probably back, whatever. I digress. My point is, I'm drawn to guitar players that can get it done with as little as possible. So, and then my guitars, I tend to prefer guitars like this. I do have a Les Paul, and I like it a lot. I don't really use it that much. This is probably my favorite guitar. This guitar was given to me. It's a John Lennon Casino reissue. Back when we were selling tons of records, we got lots of free stuff. And so the manager called one day and said, they're sending you a John Lennon guitar. I didn't know who they were. I don't ask questions if they're giving me a free guitar. And I was all excited because I thought it was the Ed Sullivan Rickenbacker, close your eyes. And so I went running. The UPS truck comes, the guy, boom, puts the guitar out on the porch, and I went running out there, ripped it open, and I was so bummed. That was, see? It's a spoiled brat. That's what happens to you when things are rolling really good. You're like, oh, it's not the guitar, free guitar, it's not the guitar I wanted. Anyhow, it was this guitar. Turns out this is a great guitar. It's the Revolver reissue. But this thing plays like a dream. It sounds good. It's just, I guess if I had to pick one, I'd pick this one. But the F-holes mean at high volume it starts to feed back certain songs. You've got to be playing the solo to You're an Ocean, for instance. If there's not sound coming out, it just goes at that super high volume through the Neil Young pedal. I like GHS boomers. I don't know why. It's like Tide. It's like what kind of detergent? I like Tide. Why? They got to me at an early age. I don't know. And then it's just loyalty. You're just like, that's the one. It's always worked. That's what I want. No real reason. GHS boomers, 10 on the bottom, like 56 up here. So they're kind of heavy. I know I could be like technically a better guitar player if I played lighter strings and like a Strat or something that was easier to bend. But I just think that's for wimps. I want some tension. I want some resistance from the guitar, a little bit, I don't need. I feel like if you're playing that fast, you're doing something wrong. That's just. Again, I'm opinionated about these things. No, I'm a purist. None of my stuff has been altered at all. Also, I'm lazy. Those two things combined. I don't sit there and, again, I just want it to work. So I'm not really gonna sit there and mod any of my stuff, or like, I don't even know what kind of pickups. Your audience could be laughing at me, and I don't care. I really, people are like, well, it's a humbucker. I'm like, what's that? You know, what's that as opposed to versus single coil? Don't you know your pickup? I'm like, I don't know anything. That's why I got into this business. You don't have to know anything. All you gotta do is play your music, and then, you know, that's it. You can know more if you want, and hats off to you if that's your thing. But I just like it to work. Plug it in and it works. If it doesn't work, I pick up the other guitar. I'm starting to turn into Nigel from Spinal Tap. And if it doesn't work, I just pick up the other guitar. And then this is an SG that I have a friend, Kevin McKinney, who has been in the band as an auxiliary guy from time to time, and he played on Keep Your Wig On. He's a great musician. And maybe one of the things I like best about him is he never can decide on his gear, on what he likes. So if you hang around that guy long enough, he's like a friggin' music store. Because he's gonna sell you something, because now he's no longer sure. I'm no longer sure. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know about the SG. You wanna buy it? That's how it is. And he has beautiful gear. He went through all the trouble of finding this amazing guitar. And then one day he calls me up and goes, yeah, I don't know. Not sure about the SG. I think I'm gonna sell it and buy something else. Do you wanna buy it? And I tried it out. I was like, yeah, I wanna buy it. It's great guitar. Plays great. I love SGs. I love Angus Young from AC/DC. And you know, Chrissy Hine played an SG for a while, and it plays well. It's kind of a happy compromise between something like that and a Les Paul, which is freaking heavy and is kind of a different kind of beast. So again, I could do the whole show with just this and that green pedal, probably. That's all I really need. But nuance, whatever. A little extra. That's all my gear, really. I've got a couple of other guitars that aren't here, but that's the long and short of it. Thank you for putting up with me and listening to me talk about my gear. I am Miles Zuniga from Fastball. You can check us out at fastballtheband.com, and on Facebook we have a new record called Step Into Light. It's really good. And that's about it. Thanks for listening.